Hello there guys, Bublukaun here, back on a video, and today I'm going to do What If Deku Was Reborn, part 31. Hope you enjoy it. So last part, Deku finally finished his training with Sai, and he managed to perfect his Zeus cloak. And after resolving some of Jin problems, they part ways. Some time has passed. He met Drake. Drake told him the king wants to see him. When he arrived at the Dragon Valley, that's what I'm going to call it, he was challenged by the Hydra and won. Then after that he was challenged by the king and he threw everything at him and it did not work. He was even pushed to use his Dragon Wrath. And this time he managed to control it a bit, but even with this power up it did not give him the edge in the fight. So with the remaining power that he still have inside his body, Deku unleashed the most powerful dragon face they ever used. And I think that it was Same. Let's begin. So Deku wake up and he was not in the Dragon Valley. Once again he was inside his mindscape. He told to himself, it's been a while, huh? Then he young self approach him and he tell him, sure it was. Then Deku looked at the other light and this time it's more defined. Deku tell him, yo, did you say that this light is also me, right? Small Deku nod and tell him, I think you already know what you are, right? That feeling that you felt when you entered Dragon Valley, the fact you were not intimidated by dragons, and we cannot forget what Jin's wife tell to us, or basically what tell to our friends, that we are a kin. So put this all together and Deku tell him, I'm a dragon kin. Then the light, the bigger one, take shape of a dragon and tell him it's about time you know who you really are. Deku tell him, yeah, sorry about that. Then Dragon tell him, so who do you choose? Deku tell him, pardon? Small Deku tell him, you have to choose one of us. You can choose being a human and dragon side of you will disappear, or you can choose to be a dragon and human side of you will disappear. It's your call. Deku looked at both of them and tell them, I will take both. Both of them smile at Deku and tell him, you're greedy, aren't you? Deku tell them, well, I think I am. Then two of them approach Deku and put their hand, or in Dragon case, one of his finger, and three of them start glowing brighter and brighter. Then they fuse into one. And Deku actually wake up in the real world. He was startled for a second. He looked around and didn't find anyone. Then he started hearing noise. He recognized these voices. They are Bakugos and Kaminari. Deku immediately powered his Zeus cloak and goes straight to the voices. And from afar he see them training with Drake. So he powered them to his base and fly toward them. Drake see him, he stopped the fight, then Kaminari and Bakugos see him also. They fly toward him and they glad he finally wake up. Deku asked him for how long he was out. Bakugos tell him for 2 days. Deku is shocked and tell him, 2 days, are you sure? Drake tell him, I'm surprised you're alive, kid. You'll fight the king. Remember the time I tell you about the story of the quark? Deku nod. He tell him he's the one who tell me about it, because he was our king from back then. So he's quite old, and dragon when they are old they are really powerful. Deku tell him, well, I think that info was a bit late. You are supposed to tell me about it before I fight him, Drake. Drake tell him, sorry, I forgot to tell you. Deku tell him, liar. Then he asks where are the others. The four of them decide to take a break and they fly to the others. When they see Deku, Momo rush him and hug him. Deku hug her back and tell her, sorry for you and you guys. All Might tell him, it's okay, kid, we're glad you're okay. And Momo is still hugging him. Deku tell her, Momo, can you let go for a second? Momo tell him, shut up, I didn't hug you for 2 days, so I'm flashing my energy. Deku's face turned red from embarrassment and everybody else start laughing. Then they hear big footsteps. They look behind them and they see a king coming toward them. The king tell Deku, I'm glad you're finally awake. Deku tell him, thank you. The king tell him, before you ask about me helping your friend or your teacher, we already tried and I failed. The power that he have is no longer his, because it have a will of her own. And when it's passed down, it can no longer return to the owner. Deku tell him, thank you. King tell him, but there is a bright side. Sure, the power cannot return to original state. Then All Might transformed to his buff form. but I can at least give him his power back. Deku tell him, what? How? All Might tell Deku, you know that One for All have the vestiges of the other users, including me inside of it, so I can no longer use it. So technically right now I'm using a copy of One for All. I have the same power that I have in my prime, but I can no longer pass it down. Deku smiled at him, either way, thank you for everything. Well, looking at the king. Then the king tell him, I have one question for you. What are you? Deku close his eyes, take a breath, smile a bit and tell him, I'm a dragon king. Then something inside Deku start changing. He can feel it. And his minion is changing a bit. He start glowing with golden aura. He open it and see that his unique skill Dragon Wrath is changing. And the new name of his quirk is Dragon Dive. Then Deku say her name. Then his body start glowing. Everyone was blinded for a second, then when they can see again, Deku grew 2 pair of wings and his eyes changed to dragon shape. So basically he became a dragon but without a tail. Everyone is in disbelief, not only by his look but the amount of magic come out of him is nowhere near his perfected Zeus cloak. And guys, don't ask me how much powerful is Deku in this form because I don't know yet. Or I did not decide on multiplier just yet. Then Kamine tell him, boss, you know I was joking about growing 2 pair of wings, right? Abedi start laughing. Then the king tell Deku, will you follow me please? Deku tell him, sure, why not? Deku decided to stay in his dragon form to get used to it a bit more. It's a bit strange having a pair of real wings on his back, but he will get used to it. They fly for a couple of minutes. Then they arrive at the cave. The king tell him, this is my home. Deku stays silent because he doesn't know what's going on. They walk inside and he see 4 dragons. 3 really young and 1 is older than them by a large amount. The older one spoke and it's girl. She asks Dragon, who is this? The king explained who is Deku and how he got here with great detail, and Deku is wondering why he did that. Then the king tell him, I need to tell you something. Then the king starts glowing and he take a human form similar to Deku but with a tail. They are almost look alike. Both of them have blue hair, blue eyes, blue wings, almost the same color. The only 2 things they don't like alike is Deku's face because they don't look the same, and the fact that he don't have a tail. But Deku is still shocked to see the king true form or something like that. He asks him about it and the king tell him, once every 1,000 years, there is a high possibility to a dragon to be born with high and large amount of mana. They refers as the king's candidate. Deku tell him, so Drake and the others are king candidates? Because they have a large amount of mana. The king tell him, true, they have a large amount of mana, but there is one thing that separates the king candidates from normal dragons, and there is the unique transformation to human form, like mine. Deku tell him, so Drake and the others does not have it? The king tell him, they don't have it and they will never have it, because you're supposed to be born with it, but you're not supposed to unlock it until you are a certain age. Deku tell him, okay, but why are you telling me that? The king tell him, because approximately 365 years ago, give or take few years, I was blessed by 3 sons. Then he put at the 3 dragons. Deku nod his head and dragons nod back. And guys, really quick, give me 3 names of the dragons, cause I'm tired of giving them random names. So it's up to you. Deku tell him, okay, I understand, but why did you bring me here? The king replied, because I was supposed to have 4 kids. You know that dragon lay eggs, right? Deku nod. The king tell him, my of that lay 4 eggs, but only 3 hatch, and 1 stayed dormant. So we realized that the 4th one is just dead. But after few years, Drake come to me and tell me about you. And I immediately sense something fishy because there is no way a dragon will teach a human. There is something about you that let Drake feel comfortable around you. And right now, I know why, because you are Dragon King. Deku tell him, okay, back off for a second. You're supposed to have 4 kids 350 years ago. The king nod. But only 3 hatches, so 1 is dead. The king nod again. So if we calculate it completely, it's almost the same time I get reborn. So it can be I was supposed to be reborn as your son? All the dragons go, what? Except for the king. The king tell him, I think so, because there were dragon king before you, you know? But it's really rare to see them nowadays. And if I see them, they don't have a transformation like yours. Then Deku tell him, but are you sure I am your son? There is not other dragon that's supposed to have kids and the egg died. The king tell him, not this time. There is only one egg and it was mine. So there is no doubt about it. You are supposed to be my son. But don't worry, I don't expect you to call me dad or something. I just want you to know, that's it. Deku tell him, wow, that is a lot to process. The king tell him, don't overtake about it. You are what you choose to be. Deku started a bit because he was really confused and tell him, thank you, I guess. Then the king tell him, there is one more thing. Jurek also tell me that you don't have the second level of air, light magic and dark magic, right? Deku nod. The king tell him, I know light and dark magic, so I'm going to teach it to you later if you want. Deku tell him, it will be honor. But if you excuse me, I have to leave. The king tell him, you're dismissed. Then Deku flies off. He go to his friend, still a bit shocked. They ask him what's up and he tell them what King tell him. Even Drake is blown away. Then Drake tell him, so technically you are our prince. That's what you human call a son of the king, right? Deku nod. Then it hit Bakugo and he start laughing. They ask him what's up. Deku tell him he always call Momo princess, so it will be logical for him to be a prince. Deku got embarrassed because of this and he promptly punched Bakugo in the gut. Bakugo tell him worth it and everyone explode in laughter. So now let's say fast forward to Deku training with the king. All this time Deku decided to stay in his dragon form to get more used to it. So before they start training, the king turns on the knowledge Deku the same way Drake did to him. The king tells him, now you know how to use them, but you have to get used to it first. And Deku immediately shows that he can adapt really quickly by creating a sword of darkness and sword of light. Deku tells him, well, don't worry, I can adapt really quickly. The king smiled at him, I see. So the king called for one of his generals to come see him. He told him the situation and told him to train Deku how to use wind. So the general transferred his knowledge to Deku and he immediately picked up how to use it. He tried to tell him to get used to it first, but Deku immediately shut him up by using it. General told him, you are something else, kid, and he flies off. So Deku continued his training to master his new techniques, or magic. So later that day, the king told him, so what are you going to do now? Deku told him, maybe I'm going back to my world and bring them to this world to get them stronger and give All Might his power back. And I already did that. Plus, I learned who I really am, or what I am. The king tell him, so have a nice trip, kid. Deku nod and he thank him. So Deku tell his friend to get ready because tomorrow we're going back to our world because 1 year is almost up. So everybody get their stuff ready or whatever they have. Deku gave them their clothes that he put in his storage a year ago to make them blend in. But before they go, Deku tells them I have to go somewhere else alone, so wait for me here. He opened up a portal and he teleported to Dwarfgon. When he arrived, he do usual, he walked to the gate, he meet his fans and go see the king. And because they know Deku is a friend from the king, he let him in. In the way he met Sai, he welcomed him back. Deku explained that he have to go to his world, so it is technically goodbye and he come here to say goodbye to his master one more time. Sai understand, then he tell him he's in a meeting with some nobles. Deku sighed and tell him, let me guess, that guy is here, right? Sai tell him, yep, he's here. But the beating that you gave him last time, change him a bit. He's a bit more mellow, he don't want Dragonor to go after him. Deku laughed a bit. So Deku wait for the meeting to end. After it did, Sai tell Jin that Deku is here. They go to empty room. They say their goodbyes and Jin tell him, I'm going to miss you, kid. Deku tell him, so am I, Jin, so am I. And yes, his wife is there. Then Deku look at Jin's wife and tell her, thank you for telling my friend what I was afraid to tell them. The queen tell him there is nothing for you to thank me. Then Deku tell Jin, Jin, guess what? I know what type of king I am. Jin tell him, oh really? So what are you? Deku tell him, well... Then he transformed to his dragon form. The three of them are shocked, speechless. Jin tell him, Deku, you are a dragon king? Deku tell him, yeah, it was a shock to me, so don't worry. Then Jin tell him, so that's why the reason you always had. Deku tell him, no. I am this strong because of what you guys made me. So thank you. Jin pulled Deku for a hug and tell him, I'm sure that all of us are glad to meet you. Deku tell him, so am I, Jin, so am I. Then Deku open up a portal, but before they go he tell him, Jin, guess what? Jin tell him what? Deku tell him, I already met my father, or who was supposed to be my father. And yes, he was a dragon, but not any dragon. He was a dragon king. Everyone just dropped to the ground. Jin tell him, you are something else, kid. You are indeed. Deku smiled and tell him, goodbye Sai, goodbye Jin, Goodbye, ma'am. Then he walked to the gate. When he arrived, everybody is ready. He opened up a portal and tell them, are you guys ready? Everybody nod and they walk through the gate. Deku is the last one. Deku looked at the king, Dragon King, one more time and tell him, thank you everything, dad. With a smile on his face and walked through the gate. And I think I'm going to stop it right here. Hope you enjoyed. If you do, drop a like and tell me what you think of it in the comment section. And if you're new around here, consider subscribe and peace.